27th February 2020 was the date the first case of COVID-19 was reported in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. 30th March of that year, the nation started implementing a lockdown as a way of containing the spread of the virus and then flattened the curve. This, of course, threw up a lot of challenges, especially for the larger percentage of Nigerians who earn their income through daily businesses. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, as the coordinator of all humanitarian interventions, was right at the center as it coordinated the response to this novel humanitarian crisis. Welcome to this special episode of Service to Humanity, dedicated to reviewing the humanitarian response to the COVID-19 pandemic. I am Habiba Zakzak, your regular host.
Across the 6 geopolitical zones,
They should use this money for what it is meant for, especially to take care of their family.
in 36 states and the FCT. Over 6.4 million of Nigerians poorest of the poor in about 1.3 million households receive conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly under the Household Upliftment Program of the federal government. Their joy knows no bounds.
And the government is very well because they do well for us.
It helped me to do any other thing, my family.
Reducing absolute poverty, promoting shared prosperity through the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in service to humanity.
Before we delve into our focus of the week, let us take highlights of news events from the Humanitarian Ministry. Top on the list is the formal commencement of the NPower Batch C registration through the National Social Investment Management Systems. Stay tuned.
As we launch the NPower Batch C today,
the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, has launched the NPower Batch C registration using the National Social Investment Systems (NASIMS).
President Muhammad Buhari graciously approved the expansion of the NPower program to enable onboarding of 1 million young Nigerians. This is a remarkable achievement and clear demonstration of Mr. President's commitment to addressing poverty and employment among young Nigerian graduates and non-graduates. Today we have reached another milestone in the process of recruiting and onboarding of the Batch C NPower beneficiaries, beginning with 500,000 beneficiaries as Batch C1.
Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk stated that the National Social Investment Management System (NASIMS) was introduced to ensure transparency, institutional memory, and dynamic impact assessment of the NPower cluster. It is designed to optimize and complement the structural reforms of social investment programs and other activities of the ministry with the systemic use of ICT tools. She added that with the use of NASIMS, beneficiaries will be able to achieve so many things.
By commencing the administration of the NPower Batch C through the National Social Investment and Information Management System (NASIMS), beneficiaries will be able to A. receive their stipends in a timely and efficient manner, B. have access to a wide range of industry-specific content for optimized learning experience, leveraging the Enterprise Learning Management module of the NASIMS. C. actively interact and engage with industry experts for hands-on experiences and learnings. D. communicate their concerns and promptly receive feedback from the program implementation teams and other stakeholders from their comfort zones, regardless of their location. E. experience a redefined and seamless beneficiary verification process which addresses the challenges earlier experienced with periodic beneficiary verification.
The minister assured that the selection process for the Empower program is predicated on merit and equitable representation across all strata of the country. The Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Bashir Noura Al-Ghali, in his remarks at the event said, "There is a deliberate and sustainable agenda which is aimed at providing a coordinated strategy to galvanize all social investment programs in Nigeria."
It's not only a strategic response to social intervention coordination, but also a laudable effort that is designed to address the numerous challenges encountered in the management of social investment schemes. NASIMS will therefore drive the efficient management of social intervention programs, as well as serve as the central system for the administration of the Empower, Conditional Cash Transfer Program, the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, and the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, the GIP, in a manner that provides a centralized visibility and improved accountability across the various components of the SIPs.
The Permanent Secretary thanked the Minister, members of the Ministry and other stakeholders for their effort towards achieving the aim. A demonstration of how the portal will work was given.
So no longer at the days where we need to depend on, when is the new circular coming out? They have aggregated all the information on programs, processes, structures. So the parochial view that somebody...
You are watching Service to Humanity, and on this episode, we are reviewing the humanitarian response to COVID-19 1 year after. One of the first things that the federal government directed was the distribution of food items as palliatives to cushion the effects of the lockdown. Working in partnership with its agencies, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, under the able leadership of Sadiya Umar Farouk, went about this task with all diligence. A review of this assignment is contained in our first segment on All Hands on Deck.
The federal government, in minimizing the hardships of Nigerians caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, directed the release of grains from the strategic grains reserves for onward distribution to the states. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, working closely with the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, carried out this exercise with due diligence as it delivered assorted grains and other food items to the states for onward distribution to the poor and vulnerable in the society.
We'll join. We're supposed to hand over to 5 trucks of rice and then 2 trucks of vegetable oil. Then we also have grains from the strategic grains reserve that was also directed by Mr. President we should take. And those grains are also, some of them are in Abuja here. I understand that NEMA is going to deploy them to your stores or hand over by tomorrow.
For this exercise, the Humanitarian Ministry received 70,000 metric tons of assorted grains from strategic grain reserves under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, while the Customs supplied about 129 trucks of rice and 30 trucks of vegetable oil, amongst other items.
9,240 SPs.
The Minister, working with NEMA officials and those from the State Emergency Management Offices, made sure the items were verified before delivery to the states. The Northeast Development Commission, an agency under the purview of the Humanitarian Ministry, also played its role in providing relief during the COVID-19 pandemic. In its area of jurisdiction, which is the Northeast, the NEDC equipped a medical center in Borno to serve as isolation center for IDPs during the crisis. Sadiya Umar Farouk commissioned the center.
So we decided, under the guidance of the minister, to provide 2 facilities, one here in the stadium, the other one in Munakam, of the same size, so that at least, even after the COVID, the state government can use this facility to provide health facility either comes here in the stadium and also in Munakam. So I have the pleasure to invite the Honorable Minister to formally commission this facility and hand it over to the Borno State government. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Azulum, the MD CEO of Northeast Development Commission, I stand on the existing protocol. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I hereby commission this isolation facility as well as healthcare facility to the IDPs in Stadium, Your Excellency, and we hand over this facility to the state government to manage. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Uganda wish to respond, sir.
Schools and school children were amongst the first casualties of the lockdown as it forced them to stay home. As a result of this, the National Homegrown School Feeding Program of this administration, designed to see that primary 1 to 3 pupils in public primary schools get a balanced meal a day, could not continue. Concerned that the program will suffer a setback and the children denied the opportunity of having their daily meal, President Muhammadu Buhari directed that school children should be fed even during the lockdown. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs executed this task with careful planning. It also extended its care for the vulnerable beyond school pupils. Let's see how that exercise and others were coordinated.
The National Homegrown School Feeding Program of government is a promise fulfilled. It is a plan to give pupils in the lower primary classes one balanced meal a day. The COVID-19 pandemic interrupted the implementation of this initiative, but the government was not deterred as the President gave a directive that benefiting school children should be fed even while at home.
During the COVID, Mr. President directed that we should continue to feed the children even while they're at home. It was a directive that we had to carry out. We just heard it on the broadcast. And Mr. President also directed that we should work with the state government. So we immediately reached out to the state government through the Nigerian Governors Forum. We had a meeting, a virtual meeting, where we all agreed to do the dry home ration, food ration, and dry food, ration to the schools, to the pupils. We started with 3 states, 3 locations, so to speak: Lagos, Ogun, and FCT. Okay. And we did this because these were the 3 frontline states as at then. And they were the 3 states that were locked down by the federal government.
The ministry, under the modified school feeding program, successfully distributed food rations to over 29,609 households in the FCT, 37,589 households in Lagos, and in Ogun, 60,391 households during the COVID-19 lockdown. Each take-home food ration included a 5 kg bag of rice, 5 kg bag of beans, vegetable oil, palm oil, salt, eggs, and tomato paste. School administrators were key as they were used to identify the pupils and their homes, and the parents collected the rations under strict adherence to COVID-19 protocols. It wasn't an easy feat, but the support of technical partners made success possible. The ministry also reached out to the other needy and vulnerable persons during the period of the lockdown. Food items and other palliatives were distributed to orphanages and other homes for the poorest of the poor in the FCT and its environs. One of such distributions was carried out at Anawim, home of the poorest of the poor in the FCT, where they confessed that the Humanitarian Ministry was the first to reach out to them during the lockdown.
We are up to going to 100 people in the home, and we cannot go out because of this pandemic situation. So I'm happy and I thank the ministry for coming here to assist us, especially with the foodstuff.
Another set of the vulnerable in the society are the persons with special needs. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, being the body supervising these special group of people, made sure their needs were catered for. First, by making sure they received supplies of care materials to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. This was followed up with food items and other palliatives.
Yeah, the Karamajiji is a COVID-19, arrangement. This is only in Karamajiji that it happened. It happened in Yangoje. It's also happened in Buare Area Council. So we went around to, the ministry went around to make sure that person with disability was given, they were given their own, packages of the palliatives.
This is a good step. This is a very good thing, and we are proud of what federal government is doing.
Like the minister has always said, nobody will be left behind under her watch, particularly children and other persons with special needs.
We are appreciating the minister. She has deemed it fit to see our inside but not outside. Out of disability there is ability, out of ability there is creativity.
I'm happy and I thank the ministry for coming here to assist us, and especially with the foodstuff. May God bless all your staff and God bless Nigeria.
The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in service to humanity.
You are watching Service to Humanity, and we are reviewing 1 year of the COVID-19 pandemic, the humanitarian response. So far, we have seen how the ministry coordinated the distribution of food items and the modified homegrown school feeding program using take-home rations. One other thing President Muhammadu Buhari directed when he addressed the nation on government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic was the immediate payment of 4-month stipends to beneficiaries under the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative of government. The Humanitarian Affairs Minister wasted no time in carrying out this request, and as a matter of fact, other interventions have flowed from this. Let's take highlights of this cash distribution initiative.
With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant lockdown, the President gave yet another directive for the immediate payment of the CCT to beneficiaries across the states, including paying 2 months ahead of what was due to them. The minister flagged off the distribution at Kwali Area Council in Abuja.
Now that we have these restrictions, Mr. President has directed we give 2 months advance payment. So we are here today to carry out that directive of paying the 2 months advance payment of this.
Thereafter, various states across the nation held similar exercises as the poor, vulnerable, aged and mostly women turned out at various centers to receive the cash transfer from the federal government. Going a step further, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development initiated the cash transfer to rural women. This scheme involves giving women across the 36 states a one-off grant of 20,000 naira to invest in their businesses. It was designed as an economic response to the devastation that small businesses run by women have faced. Plateau State, north-central Nigeria, was where the initiative was flagged off.
It is designed to provide a one-off grant to some of the poorest and most vulnerable women in rural Nigeria. A grant of 20,000 naira will be disbursed to over 150,000 rural women across the country. Let me also note that the grant is expected to include access to financial capital required for economic activities of those very special groups. It is our hope that beneficiaries of this program will make good use of the opportunity to increase their income, enhance their food security, and generally contribute toward their living standards.
And wherever the location, this government intervention was received with joy and appreciation. With the gradual return to economic activities, the women pledged to invest in their businesses.
I'm here to collect money, which is 20,000 naira, to support my business, that is hairdressing and the woman fashions. I'm very grateful to the the President of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, and the Minister of Humanitarian.
We use it to do anything that you have to do. But
what business you are doing?
Business, restaurant.
Okay.
Still promoting social inclusion, shared prosperity and providing relief for the poor and vulnerable, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs also flagged off a cash distribution to 1 million beneficiaries in the cash distribution to the urban poor made poorer by the COVID-19 pandemic. A key driver of this scheme is the Rapid Response Register developed using scientifically validated methods of satellite remote sensing technology and data analysis, a process which the Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo recognized and commended.
I'm very delighted to be part of this historic event to flag off the operations of the federal government's Rapid Response Register, RRR, for the COVID-19 cash transfers. This cash transfer project is a national initiative to build a shock-responsive framework for capturing and registering the urban poor and vulnerable populations across Nigeria. The new register complements the already existing platforms under the World Bank-supported National Social Safety Net Project, the NASSP.
It has been 1 year of careful coordination, providing leadership and giving humanitarian responses a face in Nigeria. These efforts by the minister is visible to all, so much so that towards the end of last year, the minister, Sadia Umar Farouk, received an award for the Best National Humanitarian Response to COVID-19 Crisis from Euro Knowledge. The award, which originated from the House of Lords in London, was presented in a virtual ceremony and was given in recognition of the minister's tireless efforts and contribution to Nigeria's response during the peak of the COVID-19 crisis in 2020. Accepting the nomination for Best National Humanitarian Response to COVID-19 Crisis Award, Sadia Umar Farouk said she was humbled and motivated to stretch herself more while serving Nigeria and Nigerians. For her, humanitarian issues are driven by a passion to bring succor to people.
This humanitarian work is a work that you must have the passion for you to, effectively carry out this. So if you don't have the passion, you won't be able to do, because it's really quite demanding. It's very challenging. Disasters happen every day. Issues come up. You have to be on your feet. You have to be there. You work late hours and all that. So if you do not have the passion for it, you won't be able to do.
It's been 1 year during which the ministry has grown stronger. Every day, policies are being modified, interventions being refined, and efficiency levels are getting higher. We thank the minister and her tireless team for what they are doing for the nation. Together, we can overcome the challenges thrown up by COVID-19. Join me again same time next week for more on service to humanity. Until then, do your part to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Good night.